Everybody like the live, share the live, let everybody know we're here. Like the live until you see the heart, and then the heart tail will show up. Fill the heart tail and then take a break. Good morning. Oh, good morning from Wisconsin. I've never been there. I've been quite a few places, but I haven't actually spent a lot of time in the Midwest. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. New Hampshire. I've been there once. Good morning. You need to visit. I do. What's crazy is when I lived in Connecticut. Echo next. Echo next. Yeah. This album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amounted. When I was in Connecticut, I visited the states around Connecticut, and now that I'm all the way in Florida, I want to see the Midwest and the Northeast. Come on now. Michigan. Oh, she does. Take it this far. Does she go? Well, it depends. It may be on Zoom. New Hampshire. Nice. Birthdays was the worst day. You don't know, now you know. You know very well who you are. Keep liking the live, guys, if you're just coming in. Good morning. Happy Monday. I wonder if the man that they arrested for his unaliving is going to be found guilty. I don't even know if that trial has even started. But it's still all good. And if you don't know, now you know. You know very well who you are. I made it in Oh, wow. Bailey Ann, I appreciate you. Echo, stop. So, I used to say, I'm going to wait until there's 100 people. But for those like Bailey, no, I didn't see that, CJ. Send that to me. Because by the time I finish doing all this talking, I'm not going to remember. So first, you guys can slap me on the wrist. I did not finish uploading everything to YouTube. I'm getting really close though. But my problem is I haven't been able to screen record the 19th without interruption. I'm going to have to figure that out. I think what I'm going to have to do is do no notifications on my iPad and let it just run. Because the other part of it is that to screen record, I think I have to be quiet. So it has to be like in my second bathroom all the way around the corner with the door closed. And it's 4 hours and 26 minutes. That is a long time to screen record something. But TikTok won't let me download it because it had a community violation, which I still don't understand, but okay. Then the 21st, when I was editing it in CapCut, it went from being an exportable to only being a post within CapCut. So I tried to post it. It gets to 63% and then doesn't do anything. So I did move on and do the 24th. So the 24th is there. So I have the 28th, the 3rd, and then the rest of last week. But I'll be honest, guys, I had to take a break this weekend. I did. I had to take a break because it's scammers all the time, 24/7. And if I don't force myself to put the phone down, there isn't a break. There isn't a break. So at some point, I just have to say, Digital Deceiver Shadow. Oh yes, that's the YouTube. Digital Deceiver Shadow, all one word. Oh, thank you. If you are a member of the team and you feel like you want to remain a member of the team, hit the daily like me. I mean the daily heart me. And understand, I don't think I make any money off the daily heart me. If you think about it, what is half a penny? But it lets TikTok know that you appreciate what I do. And especially now that I have a stalker, a self-declared stalker, I need it more than ever. Okay. Let's start with Mr. Mark Russell, Nick Wright himself. White Sox, cut it out. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. CJ, please come up. I forgot. I'm sorry. You are absolutely right. And by the way, we might have to do this more than once. Go ahead.
All right, folks, let me clear something up. Digital and myself are not, I repeat, we are not married. We are just a TikTok husband and wife as a joke, something to break up the monotony of all these beggars and scammers. Please stop sending me DMs saying, oh, your wife's in such and such a box and she's supporting them because they're over there talking and all her followers are going over there. Well, first of all, if any of the awareness group creators or anybody from awareness is in somebody else's box, they're not there to support them. If the followers go over there and they follow and they get more views, it's so that creator can set that person straight, offer them resources, or do whatever they have to do. Then they leave. But if their followers choose to stay to heckle that person, that's on them. But we are not married. We don't have a kid. The kid is still on ice. All right, please stop spreading the rumors that we are really married. And I mean, it's got to the point where we were married. Now we're getting a divorce. So it's not true. We're just a TikTok couple. All right. I just it was just a joke, folks.
And I just want to add that if anybody was actually paying attention, how can he be my actual husband when I say that my boo works Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Why would he have time to monitor my lives? Y'all gotta pay attention. And if that's the kind of error you're making, please pay more attention to what I actually say. Because if y'all are making that mistake, y'all aren't paying attention to the scammers properly. Yeah, I was in a live the other day and somebody said that they've been getting DMs asking if CJ and I are married. Come on now, guys. And the kid we're talking about, when you get a certain level of streak between two people on TikTok, it gives you the opportunity to quote unquote raise a pet. So because we communicate a lot through private messages, that's the kid that we're raising. Oh, it's going around. And CJ's getting most of it, not me. So we're not married, we're not in a relationship. He lives clear on the other side of the country from me.
Now, I
Calm
live in
down.
New Jersey. I live up the coast from you in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. I thought
And
you
I
were
do a
from.
lot of volunteer work with homeless vets. And between the homeless vets and the beggars, I don't have time for a wife. I don't have time for a girlfriend. I have a dog that drives me crazy. That's enough. And no, I'm not creating my dog.
Hey, Jersey
But I
girl.
just wanted to get that, folks, because I mean, I've been seeing it and I've been hearing it, and there's some other lives that I go on to give a little insight on somebody. Oh, well, I seen your wife in this person's box. She's not my wife, and she's not there supporting them. All for one, because he was in Ty's box or in a box with Detroit Nike. Does that mean he's supporting them? No, he was over there to offer them resources or blast them for the lies that they're spreading.
My question is,
And
whose
that's another
box
thing.
am I
If
in?
That's another thing. If you go into a live where digital or somebody is in a box, sit there and watch the chat. Do not chat, because if you chat, now you're pushing them out into the FYP. Just sit in there and listen to what they have to say to this person. Don't chat. Don't hack them. Don't say, "Oh, for one, you're my favorite," or digital, you tell them and this and that. Because the more you chat, the more you're pushing them out. Because they could have 100 people in there, and all for one, or Mexican homie, or just stop begging, or somebody from her group, or digital gets in there. Now they went from 150 to 700 people. You get those 600 people from that follower or from that creator group going in there and chatting. You don't push them way into the FYP. And now new people who don't know who they are, who just happen to scroll into them after that certain creator leaves, now they're listening to the lies and, oh, well, do you hear the way that they really downed me and they lied on me? And now this person feels sorry for him. Oh, well, we really need $40 more dollars. Bam, they got their money.
Yep.
So if you go in there, don't chat. Now, let's get back to the important business. I'm out of here.
Okay. Thank you,
I'm going back to the
CJ.
gallery. I don't mean I'm out. I'm going to the
No, I
gallery because
know.
I'm waiting to see if yeah, two particular people come in.
Okay. Thank you. I agree with you. But the announcement that I want to make is that awareness always wins. And both of his accounts, he can't go live on for a week. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it. It lets me know that you appreciate what I do. And I turn around and give them to other creators who I think are doing the good work. Oh, this gentleman here, Nick Wright, Mark Russell. Thank you guys. Both of his accounts, the Nick Wright 311 and the Mark, whatever those letters are, and I think he did that so that it would be harder for people to find him. He can't go live. Oh, good morning, all for one. He can't go live. So now he's super duper pissed. So if you look at his videos, he's like, I really need my supporters to come through. Yeah, because you can't sit on here 3-4 times a day for an hour and beg for your every need. He blocked you? Oh, yeah. He's quick to block. Especially if you ask him a logical question. I could see him, again, I see them blocking people who are like mean and rude and nasty. But why do you block people who are simply asking a legit question? It's because those legit questions will let other people in the chat know that he's full of crap. So apparently, he is promoting his Instagram. Now, I found an Instagram. I don't know if that's the one he's going live on, but I'll figure it out. But when you say that it's frustrating, that there isn't a difference. Good morning, Phantom. There is a difference being made. And I know it's frustrating when they keep getting their money or they keep getting hotel rooms or whatever they ask for. What do I say? Awareness always wins. We just have to be patient and consistent. That's it. That's all. Also, if you go into a live and you want to report it, wait until there is something to report. Don't just show up and start reporting. And don't report every 2 seconds. Report based on what you see happening. So, for instance, in Hippie Harley's case, she will often come on. She will be muted. There'll be a green screen of some kind, and she will literally let that go on for 10 or 15 minutes. That is spam or fake engagement. But if you do it as soon as you get in, how do you know that she didn't just mute herself the second before you got in? You have to wait. Because as we can see, certain people have lost their privilege to report because TikTok probably felt like it was unnecessary. Harassment even. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the likes. It pushes us out to the FYP because the message needs to hit the masses. Oh yeah, they love to label us as being on the wrong side, but I say we're on the right side of the wrong street. Yes, New York. That's what I mean. And look, and think about it. Think about how long she had those accounts. The only thing that I regret is that during the up to and during the TikTok ban for that 13 hours or whatever it was, she had already started building a following on Favorited so that people knew where to go. That's the only thing I regret. I would love for her to have started from scratch. But that's okay because now she thinks that you're taking money out of a single mother's mouth. Well, that single mother shouldn't have been a vile human being. If you cared about your kids so much, you would have saved some of that money, recognizing that it was a privilege to earn that much. Instead of acting like everybody else was a peasant who wasn't earning that kind of money on social media. You should have diversified. But you are not forward thinking, and so you thought this was going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. And because of the things that she's done, I don't know that she'll ever get her account, no matter where it is, that big again. I think I said it last week. I am sure some people were thrilled that her accounts are gone because then they don't have to follow her on the new accounts and they don't have to continue to fund her life and her lifestyle. Right. It is going to end for all of them. Whether they find a new shiny object to follow, or they just get tired. Because when I talked about the damage done by even creating the setup, is that unless the people have unlimited wealth, unlimited income, everybody has a point where if I keep helping you, I'm going to start to create an imbalance in my life. Why is your battling, or how does your battling needs come before my needs to pay my mortgage, my rent, my car payment, etc.? With the economy looking like it's going to hit a recession, um, your battling comes before me protecting myself and my family. So no, it wasn't ever going to last forever for any of them. Whether they are battlers, whether they are beggars, scammers, liars. And let's be clear about something. Everybody that I cover isn't a scammer in the traditional sense. So yes, you may show me the hotel room that you get after we send you money. So in that sense, you're not a scammer. But when you reject all resources, you're a liar. When you are here every day asking for your every expense to get covered, you're a beggar. When you pretend like you can't get resources, and we've been able to prove that in fact you can. In this case with Mr. Mark Russell, he says that he can't get in a shelter without an address. Well, Texas does have some rules and regulations about getting certain things, but he happened to leave out the fact that it could be a friend or a family member who writes a letter on his behalf. Why'd you leave that out, Mark? Because he wants the cash. He wants to be able to decide what he wants to do with it. Whether it's just drinking a cup of coffee and using the rest for a hotel room, whether it's I tell you that the hotel room is 120, but I stay at a $60 motel, so I have 2 nights. Whatever it is, he wants to be able to decide what he's going to do with the cash. But if I need food too, I can inflate the number. Mind you, the other day he sat there and called all of the states where he had gotten food stamps. He sat there on live and called them to find out if there was a balance. You know what that tells me? He knows how the system works. He knows how to get them. He knows how to get medical. He knows exactly how to do it. But he wants to play dumb for you. And when you, I mean his audience. There was someone the other day who said to him, I'm willing to help you, but you got to break the cycle. I again ask, why would you leave a situation where you had housing and at the very least a part-time job to move to an entirely new state to quote unquote join the carnival? You knew why they let you go from the carnival, the first one. You knew why. So then you convinced everybody to get you to a bigger town where there were more resources. You got there and it still wasn't good enough. So you convinced everybody to give you enough money to get you a bus ticket to another carnival, knowing what you already knew from the last one. Now, what he said about the last one was that it wasn't a sure thing, even though we saw him in the winter housing and saying that he was going to pull out on Thursday. I am of the opinion that when they found out about that video, they told him to kick rocks. So the second time, we're at another carnival. He's worked there for a few days. And then, all of a sudden, what happens? They kick him out. As he put it, they ran him off. And I was like, well, I hope you got paid for the couple of days you were there. And someone happened to ask him that question, and he was like, they don't pay you when they run you off. Now, I've never been a carnival worker. I have zero experience. So maybe that's what happens. Right, bad when the carnival don't want you. That is for sure facts. Because that's where people will go when they have a rough history. But for you to try to use the excuse that it was all Mary, for a while I hadn't seen the video, so I wasn't sure how it went down. But I have since seen the video. While you were being confronted, you didn't turn to Mary and say, what is this all about? Your first words was like the person was 18. And then it was our friends have used our phone. And when the person was like, your friend has your nudes, and they were like, yep. I said this the other day. If I have a friend using my phone and they're sending messages and I see that they are sending messages using my nudes, guess what? We're not friends anymore. And more importantly, I'm calling the cops on you if I think you're using my nudes to entice somebody else. But they didn't do any of that because none of that was true. He was just concerned with getting in trouble in that moment because he could see that there was a cop there. Now, the cop might not have been there for him, but the fact that the cop was in the vicinity was scary enough. So now he had to come up with a viable excuse for why that would be on his phone. And because Mary doesn't have her own voice here, as far as I know, she's not on TikTok, he gets to say that without any rebuttal, without anybody saying, no, this is how it really went down. You get to put the whole thing on her on TikTok so that you look better. But guess what the carnival said? We don't want to hear it. And then he came up with the story that he was sent to the psych ward and then just dropped off. And that's why he's in the circumstances he's in. When did you go to the psych ward? Because I remember seeing you when you were quote unquote walking down the street on this dark street looking for a McDonald's, which I think personally happened to be across the street from where he went live. When did the psych ward part happen? And then my question is, if you were in the psych ward, how'd you get out so quickly? And if you were able to get in the psych ward, a social worker would have come and met with you, you could have explained your homelessness. Who paid for the hotel? Who paid for the hospital bill? The hospital is interested in getting paid, which is why they employ social workers who can help you get the services you need. More importantly, the hospital, White Sox. White Sox, please leave her alone. Please. Wait, I gotta show you all a funny picture real quick. Just to break up the monotony. This is him chilling on his daddy's pillow. When his daddy leaves, he has to get in the spot. That's White Sox. It just kills me that he looks similar to Kim's cats, but it is what it is. Please stop it. Please leave her alone. Now you want to act like he didn't just jump up here. Thank you, guys. I just thought that was funny. Like, why are you sitting up there at the head of the bed like you run anything in this house? But I guess he's like, I smell like my daddy, so... Yeah, they both are. They're both vocal, but it's not all the time. Now Kira has laid on the notebook. I don't know what it is about her loving to lay on paper. Well, I shouldn't say that. Anything that I'm dealing with, she likes to lay on top of it. I don't get it. But that's what a cat does. My cat looks like that. I named him Oreo. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, when I got him and I saw that all four of his paws were, you have 14 cats, Alex. Girl, I with 14 they would run the house. Good morning for everybody just coming in. So when I saw him and I saw his four white paws, that's where White Sox came from. And then Kira Fiki, I know I call her Kira, but her full name is Kira Fiki, which means friendly in Swahili, because she was so friendly from the moment I saw her. So that's too many cats. That's a lot of cats. So anyway, back to Mark Russell. So the hospital has a vested interest in getting you insurance because they want to get paid for the services they provide. So they employ social workers to assist people in getting everything they qualify for, including medical, so that they can be paid. I think he thinks that he can just throw stuff out there, and because we have no way of verifying it, that we're just going to go with it. But even when I can't verify it, you have to make it make sense. Now, could he have been in there and got medical, which would have also qualified him for food stamps? Maybe, but why aren't you telling your audience that? You haven't even told your audience that you've applied. So now you just have a huge psych ward bill that you have no way of being able to pay? Oh, really? He's on right now on Instagram or on TikTok? Oh, I believe it. It's Peter Pan 3. Oh, wow, he has a new account. Kira, you're going to have to move, baby, because I got to write that down for sure. Kira, please get off the notebook. Thank you, ma'am. Someone pin that, please. Peter Pan 321. Ooh. And that's why I love this community. And isn't it weird that he would use Peter Pan? That is so creepy to me. Why would you use Peter Pan? Oh, that's not him? Hold on. Let's go look and see. That's why we have more than one phone. Peter. Oh no, that's Joe Dirt. That's Joe. Yeah, Peter Pan 321 isn't him. Yeah, that's the Joe Dirt that sits in his car and begs every day. Oh, thank you. I hope you are too. So I believe on one of the counts, whether it's the Nick Wright or the Mark Russell, he has a link to his Instagram. I just don't remember what it is this morning. I wrote it down, but I don't know where it is. So if you go see and then set up an alert on Instagram so that we can see him go live. I have never reported an account on Instagram. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Care Bear. I appreciate it. Thank you, CJ. Yeah, if you can find it and then post it in the comments so everybody can find it. I'm not sure how to report on Instagram, but I'm sure it's not um, that hard. How you broke with a car. Yeah. Oh, well, that's not him, but yeah. I find a lot of them get cars, which, again, if I was going to be homeless, my car, I would live with intention. So if I was homeless and I wasn't sure if I was going to have a home, I'd have a propane stove. I'd have things as if I intended to live in my car. I'd DoorDash, Instacart, whatever I could. I'd have a gym membership at Planet Fitness for the cheapest plan possible, or some other gym, so that I could shower every day and wash my hair and be presentable enough that then if I do get called in for an interview, I have a plan. It's funny that after I said that about Sean, who we might as well just start talking about him. No, this is Mark Russell, Nick Wright. When people were like, why don't you get a gym membership? He went on this tangent about how he couldn't get assistance at Planet Fitness, that he considers it trash. Sir, you aren't really there to work out. You go walk on a treadmill for 15 minutes and go take a shower. And then at least you're clean and presentable. Now, when it comes to him meeting a woman, though, spare no expense to be clean. As he said, I don't want to stink, which leads me to believe that on a regular basis you stink. Sir, buy some wipes. They actually have adult wipes for those who are bedbound, so that way they can at least get as thorough as a clean as possible. Buy some. You get at least $1,000 a month. You are sitting parked in the same place, which means you haven't needed gas for I don't know how long. But apparently yesterday, yeah, of course they don't work for him. Of course. Thank you for the gifts for everybody coming in. If you would please do your daily heart me, join the team. I would appreciate it. You can then call yourself a digital deceivers detective or just a digital detective. But let's TikTok know that you appreciate me. And now that I have a legit stalker, I sound like Jordan Paul. I need all of the support I can get. So let's look at the notes. Sean was supposed to be meeting with his lady friend yesterday. Does anybody know if they actually... Okay, his Nick White 209. That is Mark Russell's Instagram. Hold on, guys. You know I like to write things down. Nick White 209 is Mark Russell slash Nick Wright. That's cute though. Nick Wright to Nick White. Very cute. They didn't meet?
All right, digital. On Saturday morning, he was supposed to meet his new love of his life, his lady friend, whatever he wants to call her. Well, he was having such bad chest pains, he had to take 3 nitro tablets, still had the pain. At 9 o'clock in the morning, he went to the hospital. And 11 o'clock in the morning, as he was walking out, she was walking into the ER with chest pains.
What?
They did some kind of lab work on him, and between 9 and 11, they did this lab work. They tested it. A specialist read the test results, wrote up a report, gave it to him, and now he has some form of cancer again. And
What?
I have reported him to the American Cancer Society for fraudulent cancer claims. But she's supposedly still in the hospital, and he's saying that, oh, she's a truck driver and this and that. And I said, is she a truck driver or a real estate? And it's the new love of his life. His
Right.
last love of his life ghosted him on Monday, and now, not even a week later, he has a new love of his life. I told him, and I put it in the chat, a blow up doll is not considered the love of your life, and we know she's in the repair shop getting fixed. Man, I got blocked quick. But that was, and on Friday night, everybody was really on him to the point where his mods just couldn't take it. They all left. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, he paused for a few minutes and he says, oh, it was one of my mods. They're on their way to the hospital. She's having chest pains. Well, it's her husband that was having a heart attack. And somebody says, oh, well, we all know that your mod tried to OD. And I mean, they just got on him, and he didn't say bye, kiss my tush, nothing. He just flat out ended it.
Wow.
But there's no way if you take 3 nitro tablets and go to the hospital at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 2 hours later, they're going to release you. There's no way.
There's no
That's
way.
That's an automatic 24-hour observation.
Correct.
And, you know, these people think that we're stupid.
Yeah, I know his money.
And he was on yesterday saying, "Oh, well, my lady friend's still in the hospital. I hope she calls me today, or maybe I'll go and see her and this and that. But I really don't have the gas to drive there." And I told him, I said, "Well, people have been investigating hospitals within a 60-mile radius of you, and there's no record of you being in the hospital." Well, they can't tell them if I was in the hospital. All they have to do is say, "Hey, I'm a family member. I'm looking for my uncle. I heard he was in this hospital." They can say yes or no, whether he's there. They can't say what he's in there for, but they can say yes or no if he's there.
Right.
And, you know, oh, well, they can't get that sort of information out. Yes, they can.
That's true.
All right, I'll let you get back to your chant. I mean, that was just too much to type.
Oh,
But
yeah.
his supposedly new girlfriend, as he was walking out of the hospital. Now, both of them had heart attacks, but yet they're walking into the hospital, or both of them have heart conditions, and they're both walking into the hospital. I mean, come on now.
How did he get there if he don't have gas?
That was another question. Oh, well, the hospital's right down the road. No, it's not. The closest hospital to you is 18 and a half miles northwest of where you're at, because somebody docks his location, and they heard a train, and they say, "Hey, Nick, there goes your money train. It's leaving." And then somebody docks his location. The city that he's in now in Texas begins with an F. That's all I'm saying. I know right where he's at, and I pulled out my little truck stop book, and I got looking for truck stops. Well, they're not humongous truck stops. They're not they're mom and pops. Maybe
Right.
3, 4 trucks, and they charge for parking. And That was another thing. Sunday, he says, "Oh well, the people from the truck stop came over to my car and they knocked on my door and asked if I was okay. They were really worried about me because they didn't see me and this and that." But he was worried more Saturday or Friday night when, oh well, if I leave with her for the day, I wonder if they're going to tow my car. One minute he's worried about him towing his car. The next minute he's saying that they're worried about his safety and his health, and they haven't seen him.
What?
Yeah, that's two ways crashing
Professional
different
liar.
routes. All right, let's get back on track.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the insight though, because it helps inform again the kinds of things we can report him for. So if you are lying about details about what you're doing, how do you not consider yourself a scammer? If you are begging for your daily needs, how are you not a beggar? And we've already went through the difference between begging and asking for assistance. There is a difference. My thing is this though. Why are you so concerned with getting into a relationship? Now, I get it that everybody has needs. And everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, most people want love in their life. They want to be cared for. But how do you provide, protect, and profess from your front seat of your car? You aren't in any position to offer any woman the quality that she would need, but yet she has to live up to your expectations? Correct, Nikki. That's what he's really looking for. He's not looking for any woman to have a good time with. He's looking for someone who has the resources to allow him to continue to live at the lifestyle he would prefer without having to do anything to get it other than sweet talk her. Now, this is what's hilarious. Some months ago, if you said anything to him like he's a good looking man, and I'll be honest, when I first saw him, I thought he was Lori's Andy. And I was like, what? What did he want in Lori? But then I quickly realized that that wasn't him. But the moment you say anything to him like, "Oh wow, you're good looking," or "You're a handsome man," I don't play that. I'm in a relationship, and um, I don't, I don't do that. So someone can't just give you a compliment. Nobody wants you, sir. It is the audacity. Nobody wants you. You can't handle a straight compliment. And let's be honest, as jealous as we may be as human beings, right? All of us would like to think that the person that we're with, other people would be attracted to. I'm talking the quiet part out loud. So why would a woman be upset that a person on an app, not even a dating app, on a regular app that he has never seen, spoken to, nothing, who says, "Oh wow, you're handsome." Why is he going off so hard? It is, to me, the other side of love bombing. Because it's like, see, I made sure that everybody knew that I was with you. I will always stand up for you, etc., etc. It's supposed to be a way of him showing his like loyalty. Sir, the fact that you can't even accept a simple compliment is weird to me. But then yesterday, while he was on live waiting to see said woman, according to him, he had two women in his box. And he was giving them riddles and talking, and in my opinion, doing a little bit of flirting. Ladies, what do you get out of being in his box? Could somebody explain that to me? Why do people think that he's the smartest person in the room? Because he's not. Okay, Vanessa, give her a hug and a warm kiss from all of us. Correct. Attention. Correct. But why would you want attention from a random man who has no intent on being with you? Sounds like Erica and Chef Carl's money trade leaving. Oh yeah, Erica's mad about it. And he literally just sits there and spouts nonsense and tries to act like he knows everything about everything. Sir, if you know so much, why are you in the situation you're in? Why can't you leverage all of this fantastic knowledge to get from point A to point B? You done traveled all over this country, but you can't figure out a job? Oh, please, without his SSI. But I'm going to tell you something. The SSI considers a lot of things income, including what they get on here. I'm going to talk about Kim. I am definitely going to talk about Kim today. So, what happens when SSI starts looking at your income from all of the various sources and now says you needed to report it, you've earned XYZ, and now we're taking a portion of your social security away, just as your money train is coming to a halt? Ask Kim how that feels. It's unpleasant. So we'll be on the lookout, Sean. Sean is also White Sox. Hey, Sean is also going between his TikTok accounts and his favorited account. And sometimes it's just no games. Sometimes it's Sean no games. If you type in Sean no games, it tends to come up at least on TikTok. And he feels like favorited is better because there is no constraints on his language, on the fact that he smokes on live, stuff like that. But as I have told y'all, anyone who cannot have a conversation without being vile isn't an adult at all. Yeah, Sean, no games. Sean underscore no underscore games on favorited. Thank you, CJ. Okay. Let's see. When I was taking notes on him the other day, he was asking for $740. I don't think I ever found out why. But first he was complaining that Texas Tiff figured out his location. Then he complained about his foot being swollen, that he has edema in his right foot. Sir, you think that you can sit in that position 24/7 and not get some edema? You you need to get up and walk. There is nothing wrong with you putting a blanket out at the park and laying down and stretching out. You don't necessarily have to go to sleep. You don't necessarily have to do it around minors, but you can do it. Again, living with intention is what makes the difference. But you want to use all of these ailments as a way of being able to say, look at me, woe is me, I shouldn't be in this situation. Help me. His curtain is back up because that's how people figured out where he was, by looking at his surroundings. Someone said something about him wearing compression socks. And then he says, I don't have diabetes. And I literally wrote in all capital letters, what? With a question mark. You do not have to have diabetes to get compression socks. If compression socks helps move out the liquid that causes the edema without cutting off your circulation. What does that have to do with diabetes? Then he said, we are tormenting him, that we make up allegations. Then someone asked him if he got disability, I'm assuming Social Security disability, and he ignored them. And that's when again he said that those of us who bring light to his nonsense aren't ladies. We get no respect from him. Anybody who asked him anything financially related, he wanted no parts. He would just ignore the question. I wonder why. Do you want no one to know? Do you want no one to know? Make it make sense, Sean. Okay. I'm going to put up the... So, we've done Sean. We've done Nick. Let's do Jordan Paul real quick. Now, Jordan Paul had her eviction hearing on Wednesday, and the landlord was granted possession. Now that he's been granted possession, Jordan needs to look for somewhere else to go. She could leave at any point. But what she knows is that if she waits, the landlord has to pay additional money to get marshals to come and take her out. He has to get the locks changed. He has to do a number of things. Jordan, why are you acting like that's not getting ready to happen? Why are you still on here asking for money for dog food, for food for you to eat? Why are you doing that? As if people don't know. And what started to crack me up was that people started asking, like, what you gonna do about where you gonna live? And she's still playing her game on live like nothing happened. What are you going to do now that you're going to be back in your car with your dogs? She is still trying to uphold the lie that the court case is really her landlord's court case and that she has to be there because she wants to make sure he doesn't get away with it. When it is public record that this is actually an eviction hearing for failure to pay her rent. Where is your money going, Jordan? And where is it coming from? When a couple of people got in her live and were asking questions about said eviction, she either ignored it or tried to deflect. Ma'am, don't you know that it's public record? We can actually see it. People clocked her tea before I even could about the fact that the actual court case was an eviction, because I couldn't understand why she made it such a hard press that she had to be there. If this was an assault case, this would be in a criminal court, and it would be the defendant, the woman who assaulted her, and the landlord versus the state. Only in a civil trial would it be her against them. But this was a criminal case. Why do you have to be there if it's a criminal case? That's because it's not a criminal case. It is a civil action between a landlord and a tenant. You only have been there for a couple of months and you were already getting evicted while still getting money from people on the internet. Why didn't you make your apartment a priority so that you and your dogs would have somewhere to live? So, the other night, she was riding around where I don't know, and she comes across a Rottweiler roaming the neighborhood. And on one hand, she's like, oh my God, he's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And on the other hand, she's afraid of him. So people kept giving her advice. Ring the doorbell. Beep your horn. Call animal control. Over and over and over again. The one thing about Jordan that is annoying is her repetitive speech pattern. She will say, guys, I was just riding by and I saw this Rottweiler and he's beautiful, but he clearly he clearly ripped from his chain because you could see it dangling. Guys, he clearly ripped off his chain. Look, it's dangling. And he seems friendly, but I'm afraid that he'll attack me. But he seems friendly, but I'm afraid that he'll attack me. Because clearly he was able to rip off his chain. Look at the chain. He ripped off the chain. Why do you... Like, is it a speech impediment of some kind that you need to repeat it over and over and over again? So what she says finally is that she claims she got kicked off her live. I don't know. She may have been. But when she comes back, she's now home and she says that she rang on a doorbell and it happened to be their dog and they were thankful. Now, one of the things that pissed me off in the comments is when someone said the dog was probably abused. I'm going to need for people to think about what they say before they say it. There wasn't anything about that dog that looked abused. He looked very well fed. He looked friendly. He didn't seem overly aggressive, like he was in a fighting ring or something like that. Y'all, and when I say y'all, I don't mean y'all, but I'm just talking about the general public in general. Y'all will say anything, go too far, and it doesn't even make sense. And even she was like, yeah, no, he's a big boy. He looks like he's well fed. Do you just need to see your name in lights? And so when she comes back to report, she says that the owner of the dog had no idea it had broken free, but that she was so thankful to Jordan. But we are now on a countdown. Does anybody know what she was asking for last night? Because I missed it. The amount. Well, we will see. Oh, she was asking for 50. What, for dog food, gas, food for herself? Dog food, yeah. Well, usually they get like 10 days, and then the landlord has to call um, either the sheriff's office or the bailiffs or somebody to come and be the intermediary to actually kick her out. If you look on TikTok, I mean, not TikTok, on YouTube, you will see how these evictions go. They show up on the morning that they're going to show up. They sometimes give you like a 24-hour notice. Sometimes it's a little longer to give you an opportunity to actually leave. and then they just come in, and the furthest they're going to put your stuff is the curb. Okay. We'll wait with bated breath. Everybody, do me a favor because where I'm about to go requires a lot of likes and a lot of protection. So let's talk about my self professed stalker. We got to go back a little bit. Let's see. And forgive me if you can't see the chat. Just bear with me. I won't be here long. So, Miss Topanga Halterman, she had her last post about me taken down twice. So after I went live on Friday, this is what she decided to post. Digital Deceiver Shadow in parentheses. This account will stalk your account, meaning her account will stalk my account and anyone else's and put you on blast if you've ever made or received money from this app. And then she does the racist trope again. She says we're all scammers. This person needs canceled. Please write a proper sentence when you're coming for me. Report the account for hate speech and harassment. Now, my question is this. Topanga, I have never talked about you a day in my life. Why are you so hard pressed on me when I've only been doing this since November and there are hardcore awareness pages that have been doing it for years? Why me? And then why use the racist trope that you don't know if I'm a man or a woman? So I decided to do this. I went to her comment section and I said, just to clarify, so you can stop using this racist trope, I am a woman from birth. Carry on. Carry on. With a bunch of kissing emojis, heart emojis, whatever. Because Delfino Lacci thought it was cute and lovable. So why not me? But carry on. But you have labeled yourself my stalker. Does that make any sense? And I don't call everyone a scammer. I have said from day one that there are people on this app that actually need help and they should be able to come here and get it. What I don't like is when I see people who try to use this app as an ATM machine. The other thing is I haven't talked about you and the Cash App or whatever it is in your bio, never not once, until you came in here and called me a bully. And when I asked you to get in the box, you couldn't do it. You want to be able to sit on your account and talk trash, but you don't want anything that might hold you accountable. If you're going to stalk me, come in here, stand 10 toes down, push your whole chest out, and tell me where I went wrong. What did I say wrong? How did I come for you? Because I don't just get up here and say, oh, Topanga's a scammer because I said so. Y'all know I don't. I don't even take anybody else's word for it that you're a scammer. I have to watch you myself, and you have to hit a certain number of my scammer checklist before I will even say it. Anybody who's been here any length of time knows it. Everybody keep liking the live. Jill, I am sorry, but I agree. There are people who literally need a hand up. They're not looking for a handout, they're looking for a hand up. So, this is my feelings about why Topanga is coming for me. She has about 1,000 followers. And I think that because Topanga sees me on a slight rise, it's not like I went from 0 followers to 10,000. But she sees some upward trajectory. And so she's decided to use my account to be the account that she uses and quotes and whatever else to try to like reunite some of her similar accounts on here to go up against me. But ma'am, if you're not prepared to tell me when and where I'm wrong, your feelings about me don't matter. So what did she do? She deleted the account and blocked me as if this is the only account I have to monitor her. Girl, please. Good morning. So I would love to know if you have all of this heart to try to get me canceled on TikTok. Not the scammers, not the PDF files, not the people who are actually harming people on this app. You come for me. Well, ma'am, I know that Topanga Halterman is your real name. I know where you live. I know your family members. Pick somebody else to stalk, because I'm not the one. And if you want to know what she looks like, let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this one is my favorite. This is Mr. Panga. This was a other. This was the follow-up to the post that got taken down. She says, also, if you ever made money off this app or disagree with anything they say, they start talking about you and stalk your account. Girl, when did I stalk your account? I didn't start checking on you until you said that you were going to stalk my account. But okay. Just understand that it can go both ways, ma'am. So I'm going to suggest that you leave me alone. Oh, this is that Delfino to not Delphi not Latchy. Let me show you their photo because, sir, why are you liking her? Why? So, Topanga, I'm going to give you the opportunity to come in here, unblock me first, obviously. Come in here with your whole chest, get in the box, and tell me specifically where I've gone wrong. You don't get a general, well, you call people out, because no, that's not going to be adequate. Specifically, with your whole chest, tell me what I've said that is wrong. And if I am wrong, I will admit that I am wrong and I will apologize to my audience. Not you, but to my audience. Because I strive to be as accurate as possible, but I'm an imperfect human being. I'm going to make mistakes. But this is the difference. I do not hold myself to a perfecting standard. I hold myself to the standard that I will always do my best. But perfect, no. And so when you don't worry about needing to be perfect, you recognize that mistakes are going to be made. And the only thing you have to do is acknowledge them, apologize, and strive to do better the next time. So I'm not afraid of you saying that I'm wrong. I'm sorry if that disappoints you. But Topanga, I'm going to need you to go find some other business to do. Because you don't want to escalate this any further. Move along. Come say your piece or move along. And I'll give you one better. I'll go to your live. And you can tell me where I went wrong. But you have to allow me to have a rebuttal. And then you can go your way and I will go mine. But I find it very interesting that you've come for me when there are people on this app that have been doing it for much longer. I find it interesting that you pretend not to know if I'm a man or a woman. But we all know I'm a woman. And why did she need to delete my account and block me? But you have the day you deserve. So let's just talk about Lisa real quick. I do not know. I will never understand the people who can see with their own eyes what's happening, and yet they are still in her live streams. Hi Lisa, how you doing Lisa? We love you Lisa. We do recover Lisa. Lisa, what do you need? She needs rehab. And you continuing to fund her is preventing that from happening. Now, remember when the one sister told us that the parents had to move out because they were either going to do remodeling or sell or whatever? And she gave a date. So people started asking Lisa about it, and she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Nobody is moving out, blah, 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 blah. Right? Well, now Lisa is saying that yes, the lease ends, I think she said in June, and everybody's going to have to find somewhere to go. Her parents are moving to a place. Her brother, she thinks, is going to stay with a friend. So that leaves her out on her own. And now she's saying, well, I guess I'll go to rehab. So the only reason why you're going to rehab is because you won't have anywhere else to stay? Oh, I agree. She absolutely needs it. And these account names are all old. Forgive me. They're old. But it's funny because I could literally type Lisa in the search bar and her accounts pop up. Now, I don't know if that's because I watch her a lot and so they know what Lisa I'm talking about, or because so many people are looking for her, they know what Lisa everybody is looking forward to. I don't know. But I don't even have to come up with the right name and it comes up. Guys, you are not helping her. You're not helping her. You're allowing her to survive the next day and the next day and the next day. Oh, I agree that it's definitely a money grab. But she has had multiple opportunities that she hasn't taken. They're just giving her attention. I agree. But people are also giving her money. And Lisa doesn't get off until she gets money. But she'll come on like an hour later and be like, yes, for that whole live, I got $2.49. Stop lying. Stop lying, Lisa. DDS, can I just be a troll since I can't help them? If you're going to be a troll, don't be me. That's all I ask. Oh yeah, very entitled. What I find hilarious is they'll be like, "Why do you guys care if somebody helps me? It's their money. It's none of your business. Their wallet is none of your business, but you don't mind being in that." Zero hesitation. Let's be kind. When we see somebody saying, "Hello, Lisa. How can I help you, Lisa?" Send them a kind message that just says, "Listen, this has been going on for a really long time. You may be new to her, but she will abuse your kindness. So please be careful." But you're an adult. You can do what you want with your own money. I recognize that. I just don't want you to get taken advantage of. And leave it there. Now, if they ask additional questions, of course, provide context. but we get more allies with honey than we do with vinegar. And the moment you go off on somebody because you find their actions to be stupid, you're going to get backlash. You're going to get people calling you out. So why bother? But as I always say, I'm not going to stop until she stops. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about her. I will continue until she goes away. Girl, Lisa would crash out if she didn't get the attention she seeks. And again, if you're going to be in her live, don't say anything nasty and cruel because if I catch you, you're out. You can't be a part of DDS. Because as annoying as she has a disease. And we wouldn't talk to her if her disease was cancer. We wouldn't talk to her that way. Even if she was grifting off of her cancer diagnosis, we wouldn't do that. So, because it's rugs, we feel like we can be disrespectful? No. Now, starting rugs is absolutely a choice. But when you become as addicted as she is, it's no longer a choice. It literally is her necessity every day. Oh, I didn't even realize Guardian of Valor was here. Yes, please go find Guardian of Valor. Follow them. They do incredible work. Wait, how is it a disease? I'm so confused. Maybe you can talk about that one day, please. Um, it literally changes your brain. Puffman, I agree with you that it started off as a choice. But when you become an addict and you've been an addict as long as she has, it is recognized in the medical community as a disease that requires treatment. Now, is it the same as cancer? No, of course not. Cancer didn't start off as a choice. But let me give you an example. If somebody smoked cigarettes for 20 years and then they got lung cancer, would we say to them, well, it was your choice? You smoked for 20 years? We wouldn't because we recognize cancer as a medical disease. So is addiction. When you get to her level, it is a disease. But since you ask, I will oblige and I will talk about it. Correct. It changes the brain chemistry. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm in school for addiction therapy. I am also a recovering addict and alcoholic myself. Um, and I wanted to kind of explain. So, when you are born, you have a genetic marker from your parents, and also just in general. Most of the time, it is from family history. And it it's the same as if you were to get diabetes because of your parents, or because of your family members. It's a genetic marker, and the first time, yes, it is a choice. Most of the time, except for like RX, usually that's because of an injury.
Right.
Um, However, On top of that, outside of any genetic disposition you may have to it, um, there is a lot of mental health that leads into it. First is genetic makeup, and then is um, trauma. And a lot of people with borderline personality disorder use substances so they don't get as angry and they can cover up their emotions, their very strong emotions. Um, and it's that's why a lot of treatment centers are dual diagnosis, because
Yes,
to get to the root of the problem, generally there is trauma, and also people that use substances are more likely to have trauma as well, um, because of that addiction, meaning, SA, abuse, poor decisions, that sort of thing.
that makes
And
a lot of sense.
yeah, and it's definitely a master for a lot of problems. And you are not the person that you were born to be when you are on drugs and alcohol. Um, like for me, I became very aggressive and mean when I was drinking, and lazy when I was um, an addict. And so it completely changes the person that you are to your core, and your moral values as well. So I just wanted to kind of explain that for people in the chat, because there's no reason to hate on someone because of their addiction is out of their control once they're fully addicted, and they are not themselves. And so all we can do is to pray for them and hope that one day they get better. But uh, it's a long road. It's a long, hard road out of hell, is how I would explain it.
I agree with you, and I appreciate that.
Of
I
course.
appreciate you coming up and explaining.
Of course. I just wanted, since I'm learning about it, I'm trying to become a CCAP in California. So,
Oh, well,
um,
congratulations, and
thank
I
you.
am thrilled to death for you
Thank
because
you.
the fact that you were able to recover and now
Hmm.
you are turning that kind of bad portion of your life to then give
Hmm.
back to people in the future, that is how
Yep.
you do that. And I
Yep.
appreciate you for that.
That truly is the higher powers work, is
Right.
helping people. And all we can do is give love. It's not our job to judge. It's our job to love. So
Correct. I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well.
Do you know how to get that? Okay, she does. Thank you for that. Because um people who are not on the clinical side of things have very strong feelings about it, but understand that it requires, not for everybody, don't get me wrong, this is not for everybody, but people who are as heavily addicted as she is, it requires a professional intervention. Now, I'm not saying be loving and enabling and all of that. I'm just saying don't be mean and nasty. Don't say stuff like she should have been in the grave instead of coal, or say like you hope such and such and such and such happens to her parents. Like, I'm not saying be like, hi, how are you? How are you feeling? How was your night? Do you need anything? Have you eaten today? No. Call her out on her BS. But I'm just saying we don't have to be nasty to do it. That's all I'm saying. Right. And if you believe in prayer, pray for her. A cowboy, 110%. And that's why I do what I do, because this is never a long term strategy. But for an addict, they have used 75 strategies during their addiction. This is just a newer one. But for people who come on here and every day have a need, have a reason, you are taking advantage of the people who actually care about you. The rest of us are just sitting back watching the nonsense, hoping that we can get in touch with the person and say, hey, listen, please be careful. There is the allegation that someone intended to send Lisa $40 and sent her 400, and instead of Lisa recognizing that that must have been a mistake once the person said so, did Lisa give back the 360? No, she kept it because it allowed her to stay offline. Now, if all Lisa needed was some food for the next couple of days, how could she already need money in 48 hours if all she needs is smokes and a hoagie a day? That should have lasted her at least a week, if not more. So that's all I'm saying.
Hi, thank you for having me up. Um, I am a clinical pharmacist, um, and I wanted to explain to everyone in the comments how any drug affects the brain. So, any drug interferes with the way neurons send, receive, and process signals via neurotransmitters. If you would like to have a live with me where I can explain that a little further to people and, have some clinical people on the panel, we could really get into how all of that works.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. I have a doctorate of pharmacy. Um, my full name is uh on my my profile on this app. So y'all can check me out. I've published almost 5,000 papers on various things.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
if you would if you would like to do that sometime, I would be open to it. Just DM me and I can send you my phone number, my Facebook, whatever you'd need
Okay.
to kind of explain how the rugs that she's using affects the brain. I would be very open to that and having some clinical people explain how all this works because putting it into and I'm not being uh, I'm not putting anyone down when I say it. So putting it into layman's terms from the type of education that the woman that was just on your panel, putting it from our education to where people can actually understand how all this is working. Because we use a lot of, as you know, there's a lot of terms that we
Right.
use that are 20 letters long that most of us can't even pronounce to this day.
Correct.
Uh, but I'd be open to having an open panel with you know what what I've learned, what anyone has learned, and in our education. Um, I'm a graduate of Stanford University. I
Uh-oh.
that's my yeah that's my undergraduate degree, and then my doctorate of pharmacy is from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So if you would like to do that sometime, I didn't want to interrupt too much what you're trying to get across here, but I believe that that is a very powerful message for people to understand how all this works from the medical side of it.
Right.
And I could bring, some of the people that I've met on this app that are open to discussing it. And I do come on camera, however, this time of morning, I'm not prepared.
Listen,
Um,
I understand. That
but
is not a requirement around here.
right. So anyway, my full name is on there. You can look me up, and I can send you my professional profile and show you everything about me. It's all verified. But I really think that having this kind of open discussion about, not only people that don't understand what they're supporting, um, from the clinical side of it is very important for people to understand. I've seen her, and it breaks my heart that people don't understand the clinical side of what's going on, the mental health side of it. Now, like I said, I'm a clinical pharmacist. Have been since I was 27. I'm 52 now, but I believe that's a very important thing. I just wanted to come up and offer that part of it to anyone that, yeah, it is absolutely no excuse for her, but it's important for everyone to I'm addressing a comment here. I'm not making excuses for her at all, but it's important for everyone to understand the effects any drug has on the brain.
I agree
I
wholeheartedly. This isn't a way of making her seem more sympathetic,
right,
but
no,
you
no,
don't
absolutely
know
not.
you you don't know what you don't know. So for
Right,
me, any education that could help me be better informed is something that I welcome. So I
right,
will definitely be reaching out to you to
okay.
that would be an awesome idea.
I believe that, there are no limits to education. And
Correct.
I understand what she does. I understand the grifting and all that, but there's a whole other side to how she got there. There's a whole other side to how she got to where she's at, and that started with the first time the that she took a chemical, put it in her body, and it altered her brain.
Hmm. And
So,
guess what, guys? This conversation doesn't it is not necessarily Lisa specific. While Lisa may be a vile human being who is mean and nasty and talks trash, there are other people on this app with a similar problem who aren't necessarily mean and nasty. But if we can gain some knowledge around how they are where they are without needing to worry about how they are as a human being now or why they are the way they are as a human being now, to me, that's positive. We don't have
right.
to just have a drama filled life. I realize that's what a lot of people like. That's what a lot of people come for.
Yep.
But
A lot of
I
people
like
thrive
to,
on that.
right. So y'all calm down. Thank you very much, and I'll reach out to you.
Absolutely. I'll
Okay,
DM you right now.
okay,
And by
thank
the
you.
way, my name is also Lisa,
Oh,
but I'm not that one. But I'll
sorry.
DM you so that we can arrange this.
Okay.
Thank you for having me up because you were on the FYP. So
Oh, thank
that
you.
yeah, you're on the FYP. So that's how I happen to scroll in here. But
Yay.
I believe what you're doing is a good thing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Education is very important.
It absolutely is.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Okay. I don't know who this is, but good morning.
Hey, Digital, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. Hey, listen, I know that, Lisa has become the biggest topic on this app. But, the problem, I think a lot of it stems from the enablers as well.
Correct.
Because no matter how many times you try to warn people, and even if you go into her chat and just window watch, you see comment after comment after comment. Don't help her. Don't do this. Don't do that. And yet people still do it.
Uh huh.
People still do it. And then that's why people are getting frustrated, because it's like when you hear people say, well, it's the addiction part, and and this and this and that, it's like almost feeling like everybody wants to coddle Lisa, and make excuses. It's the drug, it's the rugs, it's the rugs, it's the rugs. That's why people are getting frustrated. It's because it's like they're screaming to the hills and then some, and yet no one's listening. But then on the other side, you got people sitting there saying, but it's this, but it's this, almost like making excuses. You know what I'm saying?
I
And it's like,
understand that, but that's not stating a
ugh,
fact isn't making excuses.
exactly.
It's
But
stating a
that,
fact is and there's no point to getting frustrated because frustration leads you to make bad decisions. Look
right.
at how long it took people to get rid of Adriel Sigler. It took a long time, but it happened.
Oh, she's back again, by the way.
Well, she is, but she doesn't have a million followers anymore either. She isn't able to live the way she was living because of it.
No,
So we have to stay patient and consistent.
right.
And I don't I don't necessarily care about that information and how people feel about Lisa. I care about people having information because you never know. It could be your brother, cousin, sister, mother's cousin, by cousin to the third power. But if you have a little bit of knowledge, it may help you navigate in the future. It doesn't necessarily have to be about Lisa. I don't believe in coddling her. I
Nope.
tell her exactly what I think. It's funny because the other day I asked her a question and she was like, digital. Why does that name sound familiar? Because I drag you every chance I get. I just don't feel like I need to talk about her teeth, or I need to talk about the
No,
fact that her children got taken away, or the fact that, she's as old as she is and why is she still doing it. I don't feel the need to do that.
no, you don't. That's going below the belt. That is going below the belt. And I do understand. I had a daughter that I literally had to pull the plug on
Wow.
because
I'm
she
sorry.
OD'd. And I didn't even know that she was as bad as she was, because, we're living in different states.
Right.
But it's like, I try to put myself in the position of her parents. Imagine how they would feel if they were put in that same position I was put in.
I
You
agree.
have to make that decision, because my daughter, sure, I could have kept her alive, but she would have been living on life support. She wouldn't have been there.
Right.
She wouldn't have been there.
Which
Do
is
you?
why I try to highlight her when other people are like, we don't talk about her anymore. I try
But
to highlight her because her addiction isn't just affecting her, it is
nope,
affecting everybody around her, including her children and now a grandchild. So, no, I don't believe in enabling. I don't believe in coddling her. I don't believe in giving her money. I don't believe in asking her, so how are you doing today? Listen,
nope.
what are we doing about your issue?
But that's the problem. Is it's like, did you hear her? I don't know. It was maybe a few videos ago. I'll have to find it. But when she turned around and said somebody had asked her, and she did answer it. Well, what are you going to do, Lisa, when your parents leave? And she had turned around and said, I don't know. Well, maybe I'll just go into rehab. It's
Right.
almost like
It's a joke.
Okay, you want to go into rehab so you have a place to live. You don't want to go into rehab to get better. You just
Right.
want to
But
go
guess
because you.
what? But guess what though? I don't care how she ends up crossing that threshold. I don't care what the circumstances are. I don't care if she was forced in, if she went to jail and she got a court order, if it means that she's not homeless. I don't care. All I care about is her giving her life the opportunity to change. And that's what I mean by we can't hate her so much that we can't even see a positive in her situation. If her being homeless is the thing that gets her across that threshold, why do we care?
But the problem is, digital, is do you think, in all honesty, if you go in on the way she's saying she's going to do it, basically, I'll go in because I don't have a place to live. Okay, if that's the only reason you're going in, do you really think that it's going to work for her, or do you think that she's just going to do it and then get out and go right
But
back to where she was?
how do we know?
That's what I'm saying. We don't, but
Right. So
she's not. If she
why
isn't
make
isn't putting any effort into
but
it.
why would we make a judgment about how successful she could be before she gets there?
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying. But the
You
way
are
she
though.
presents
You
it, it
are. You're
kind of sounds
saying,
like that.
well, if she comes in with the wrong attitude, do you think people who go to court and they get sent to rehab and inpatient for 30 days that they went in under the right attitude?
Oh, hell no, no, no,
Right.
no.
So I don't care how it is that she crosses that threshold. I want her to go, stay, and attempt to get healthy. That's it. That's all. How
That's
she gets there, why she goes, doesn't affect me in the least.
nope. I hope honestly, I hope she gets better because I don't ever want her parents to have to go through anything I ever went through. I'll tell you that. But
Correct. I
that's
agree. That
horrible.
is the worst thing to happen to a parent because they're supposed to outlive us.
Exactly. Not we're not supposed to be doing the reverse, and
Correct.
that's what frustrates me is it's like why doesn't she see this? It's
Because
like,
the
geez.
addiction is stronger than logic.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna let Tech up.
All right, thanks, honey. Can you drop
Oh,
me?
sure, absolutely.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Peachy. Uh Listen, recovery, we do recover for starters. We do recover. I was the worst of the worst. And I have seen miracles happen. Miracles. I've seen people walk into a halfway house on Ugg Court and be big and bad and say they don't need this shit. They just come in here because they don't want to go to jail. And me just sitting back and smiling because I know God's gonna get the work, right? And you see it like a month in, 2 months in. You see just a little spark, and then they're still in recovery. And then we have some people we lose. I've lost so many people along the way, but um I people in recovery, and they tell that their purpose is to carry the message to the addict who still suffers.
Uh-huh.
So when some people do that, they get hate because they're coddling or they're enabling. Well, I definitely don't enable, but she's got to figure it out. And somebody asked what's going to happen when the parents lose at the apartment. She's going to walk the streets. She's going to flop at her parents' house. You think her parents aren't going to allow her to come to the apartment? And then she's either going to crash on a couch or in a corner somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yep.
used to her.
Yep.
It's a toxic. It's all around toxic. She has in front of her, literally 10 minutes down the road, the doors for a whole new life. And I've explained how that whole new life could be, what's going to be in front of her, how it's going to be tough, but it's going to be so fucking worth it, because then you can work that family plan, and then you can start saying, we do recover. But it's not in I sit here listening to you before, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to take over your live, hun.
It's okay.
But I stop and I think other directions and other avenues. And this isn't about anybody in particular. Okay, well, I guess in the past, some people made bank off of her back, and we wondered if there was a tie with all of it, right? So you're doing awareness. Let's do awareness to the ones that are given as well. People down in the chat. Like, somebody said that in the chat, they're always saying, don't give her, don't give her, don't give her. Some people give her because of the defiance of, you're not going to tell me what the fuck to do with my money.
Correct. Correct. Which is why attacking them has the opposite effect of being kind and saying, hey, or if you know XYZ, I recognize you're an adult and you can do what you want with your money, but I
Right.
just wanted to make sure you knew. That's it, that's all. But if we go in and it's like, y'all are stupid for giving her money and blah, 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 people don't like bullies. And if they feel like we're bullying her, she's going to walk away with more money than if she just asked for it.
Yeah, because they eventually figure it out. Some stuck around. Some people, there's always an angle with her. And this is another thing I want to touch base real quick on. See people say she's just a horrible person, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she is right now. I've heard her say some things and I'm like, ah. But I knew a guy who was a comedian. He was so funny at his norm. Soon as he took one drag, he became a window peeper, and you couldn't get a word out of him the rest of the night.
Wow.
Couldn't get a word out of him. He'd go straight to the window and look out the blind and then go and take another puff and then go back to the window. But before his puffs, he was telling us jokes. It was like he was up on stage.
Wow.
I was a horrible person, but that, look, you ain't gonna, she's gonna stay up here. She's gonna stay up here. She don't give a care about let me rephrase that. If I was up here doing it, I wouldn't care what none of y'all were saying, because you're in my way of getting what I need to get.
Right.
That's just it. And some people say, well, what you gonna do? What are we gonna do? Nothing. Stop watching. Block her. Stop, the chat. The chat going real fast. That pumps her out on the FYP. But you got sick people that are giving her money on a regular. And when she's out there calling them out saying, you better send me something or I'm doxing you all. Fuck it. Let her dox you. Get from underneath of it. Finally be free.
I say it every time. She can only dox you one time. So let her do it and then it's over.
Yeah, and listen, and then what? Was somebody gonna put what? Come on now.
Don't get frustrated, Tech. I know
Listen, look, she's a reminder for me. And if she triggers you, please. And if you're in recovery and she triggers you, please step away, go call your people, write down some stuff. But, I totally lost my train of thought. Damn it all. I hate when that happens. It's, she makes me work harder on me. So I don't return to that, because I'm just one hit away. So I got to do my shit on my work, my stuff on a daily reprieve. And that's what she needs to walk through them doors and start working on some shit. And it's going to be rough, but man, it's so worth it.
correct. She doesn't even understand what her life could be.
No.
So,
I asked her one time when was the last time she felt joy and happiness. That's why I couldn't wait to just give her a hug. A hug. Just a simple hug. Because, when you're, people say, the street. Look, my kids walked away from me. My oldest was 12. She was 16 when I got clean. Took me 4 years of being out on the street to finally figure it the fuck out. And I didn't figure it the fuck out. Nobody wants to go to rehab. Who the hell wanted to go to rehab? I didn't want to stop. But then I did, then I didn't, then I did. And I did whatever I needed to do to get what I needed to get. But thank you for the space. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you because you have a level of expertise that I don't. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's just the ones that I think that upset me the most on here is when they talk about it all day long, just to give somebody a place to. Sometimes I hear some mean shit, man.
Uh-huh.
And then listen, your dislike for her for what she does up on here, because usually, before you didn't see it because there wasn't no social media and there was no TikTok,
Right.
so you didn't see it. You got a front row seat to it now, and it's fucking ugly. So you could throw lies out there and everybody would believe it. I said a lie. I said a lie the other on a live one day. I said Lisa's pregnant. I said sorry,
Listen, they
Lisa.
went crazy over that. I don't know where it came from, but they
I said I'm kidding. But that quick, you know what I'm saying? And I got twisted up with that one lady that ran up on her, and it just, it's, I don't know. I'm gonna continue praying for all the still sick and suffering, and I'm gonna drop down into the be in the chat.
okay, thank you.
Hmm.
Right, it is a front row seat to the crazy. Oh, and hey Fallon, I saw you, baby girl. Catch me 78. I understand. I understand. I don't want her coddled either. She's been coddled her whole life, which is why she is where she still is. But I also am prepared to leave space in my heart for her to get better. I am still going to send messages to people who I think are enabling her to try to convince them to stop. But do I hate her? No. Do I wish she would go away? Yes. Do I wish TikTok would take her accounts away? Yes. Correct. It doesn't work that way. Who's next? We might as well do this one. She upsets me a great deal. And part of why she upsets me is because of how she treats her daughter. Why do we need to know all of your daughter's business? So, her daughter is brought to the hospital because she has, I'll just say it, she has autism. And it seems like birthday parties are a trigger for her. Her mother would like to say that it triggers her because the attention is on other people, which could be true. But I don't think, in my opinion, that that's what it is. I think that there is so much activity going on. There are so many people. Is so much noise that she struggles with that. The house is already filled with too many people. And now she has to deal with a house full, kids everywhere running around yelling, whatever the case may be, mom yelling and screaming every 2 seconds. It's overwhelming for some people with autism. So she has some kind of meltdown. Her mother isn't there in the beginning. And apparently, she rammed her head into like the pantry door. The cops are called. Initially, they weren't going to do anything. And then someone intervened and said, no, she needs to be hospitalized. Okay, cool. Why is her mother going live while her daughter waits for, in the room with her daughter? She goes live to explain all of this to the audience and then say, we are just waiting for transport to take her to a hospital that deals with children. Can anybody explain why we need to know that and the details behind it? And then let's not forget that we have a child whose birthday party is coming and we have to promote the wish list. So I'm going to show you something that I worked on. What is dry begging? Dry begging is a form of manipulation that involves a person to stress a financial burden or need for financial assistance and not make a request directly to a close party of interest, to only hope that the close party offers assistance to support the need or situation at hand. Why do people dry beg? The most two common reasons I can think of are to test loyalty or to see how far the giver will provide in a relationship. Now, dry begging can take place on any level of relationship. The parasocial relationship that she has with her supporters is who she tries to dry beg off of. But not just them. She tried to dry beg off after the on the grandfather of the children. How do we know? Because she told us. She got on there and said to him, I wasn't able to get him the $20 gift card he wanted for his game, and we're out of drinks. And she comes to the live and is like, I thought he might offer to pay for it, and he didn't, and I can't believe it. What? Now, what floors me is that she will talk about it over and over and over again and then say, I'm not asking for anything. No, you're not asking directly, but you are dry begging. Let's see. Her name is Cody St. Sin. So, what is dry begging? This is another set of analysis. It says it's a colloquial term used to describe the act of soliciting assistance, favors, resources, or even gifts, but doing so indirectly without explicitly asking for anything. This can be seen as a subtle form of manipulation and coercion, often employed by narcissistic individuals to get what they want while making it appear as though it was someone else's idea. Dry begging operates by exploiting social cues and emotional signals rather than making direct requests. It usually involves dropping hints, displaying some kind of need or vulnerability, or making emotional demonstrations. All of these are aimed at creating a sense of obligation in others. The goal is to engineer situations where people feel compelled to offer assistance or resources, allowing a narcissist to preserve their image, sense of superiority, and entitlement while still getting what they want. This soft manipulation typically involves inducing guilt in others by exaggerating the vulnerability. For instance, instead of directly asking, "Can I borrow money, please?" dry begging might sound like, "I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent this month. My landlord already hates me, and the cat is going to starve." If that is not a perfect example of what she does, I don't know what else is. So, to the notebook. She had to move the party one day because of what happens with her daughter. Now, I told y'all on Friday that she was dry begging for the party by constantly mentioning it, constantly sending people to the Amazon wish list. And what she said was that everybody has an Amazon wish list. I don't. Maybe I should get one. Like, what do you mean? And I also told y'all after the last child's party, what is she going to do when the next child has a birthday party and people aren't so keen to give? And that's exactly what started to happen. And she was like, "My son is upset because all of the last for the his brother's party, everything got paid for. He got pizza, he got decorations, and now that I didn't get my taxes back, I can't do it for him." Manipulation. She even called out her supporter Juju and said Juju paid for the pizza for the last party while Juju was sitting in the comments. Like, what? But you know when your kids' birthdays are. Someone else is supposed to cover all of those expenses, and not just the pizza, the cake, the decorations, but she also wants you to buy the gifts. So she comes on talking about her daughter's business, and then she went on to ask who did the dishes. Now I know my sister is the kind of person where she don't want anybody touching her dishes because she cleans them a certain way. I get that. But she goes in to ask her boyfriend, did he do it? And he said, "No, F you. You do the dishes," because apparently she complained once about the way he did the dishes. So now it's F you. And you come back to the live like we didn't hear that. And what gets me is the moment somebody says something like, "Wow," her enablers, her sycophants, they mute and block the person. Why? We can't say, "Wow, that was crazy"? Then, of course, she starts with, "I got most of the stuff for the party, but I need drinks." And then she said, "I'm not asking, but I do need to get it, the drinks, in 2 hours." Again, creating a sense of urgency. And what she said was that she had gotten them, but that because the party got postponed for a day, during the night the kids drank the drinks she had for the party. But this is what's funny. She didn't buy the drinks. One of her supporters did. So you already got them paid for once and you're now coming back for a second time? So we got some of the mods. Your favorite mud princess Ashley, Angie, Michelle, his first and only. Some of what I'm going to be doing on Saturday nights is calling out the mods, the enablers, and the supporters. I spent a lot of time on these mornings talking about the actual beggar. But the Saturday nights, which the first one will be the 22nd, and shout out to CJ for setting that up. It should be interesting. But that's some of who I'm going to talk about. Then she, of course, says she's going to go live for the party. I don't know if she did or didn't. I didn't stick around to find out. And so then she says, and I'm quoting, "Am I struggling? Yes. Do I need help with the $20? With the $20 gift card and drinks for the party? Yes. But I haven't asked for anything. But have I asked for anything? No." How do those two sentences go together? You need help, but you're not asking. But I think on that brief part of the live I watched, she brought up the drinks, the gift card, and the Amazon wish list at least 10 times. But you're not asking for it? And she kept like referencing like, "Oh, let me not ask because people are going to say that I'm asking." Girl, you are. You're just doing it in a manipulative way. You are absolutely the dry begging queen. And then her boyfriend told her to stop talking about her daughter on live. Because while you have supporters in there, you also have people in there that don't like you. So why are you telling all of her medical business? She told us that she's coming home on Thursday. She told us that this is the second time she's been hospitalized. She told us that the grandfather is in the hospital. This person isn't going to make it. Like, we knew everybody's business. So he tells her to stop talking about her medical business. And do you know what she said? And I quote, "I know what I'm doing." I read, "Yes, you do know what you're doing. You are mentally manipulating your audience." You are using your daughter's medical condition to exploit the people who are in here by using sympathy. And then she says she's too stressed. She's stressed to the max about her daughter. And I wrote, everybody handles stress differently, but it doesn't stop you from dry begging. Correct. I feel bad for her daughter too. Because on one hand, she knows all of this stuff about her, but on the other hand, hasn't taken 5 minutes to try to educate herself about what that means for her daughter. Instead, she yells at her and treats her poorly, in my opinion, because you haven't educated yourself to understand the possibilities. Because when somebody in the chat, one of her fans, said like, "Oh, she might have a problem with birthday parties," Cody runs into her boyfriend. It's like, somebody in the chat said that maybe it's birthday parties that set her off, and that might be true. What? You didn't pick that up for yourself? But I bet we know you needed drinks for the party. We knew that. And then what got me is when she said she knows who her mods are and she has one of her minor children as a mod. Right after dark. You have your minor son as a mod? So he gets to see all of the rude, nasty, the informative. He gets to see it all, and you're okay with that. Okay. And then she doxed the grandfather's telephone number. Ma'am, ma'am, everything doesn't need to be on live. At the very least, mute it. I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. Oh, here we go. The girl in the corner. I didn't say her name, but okay. And she needed somebody else's phone, I think her son's, because she needed to call back the grandfather. But she said, I don't want to end my life to make a phone call. Girl. Mind you, not only is she doing all of this in front of us, she's doing all of it in front of her kids. That's when we find out that her daughter will be home on Thursday. And it is that conversation where she thought she could dry beg the grandfather and he would send her the money. And we didn't need to know, A, that you did it, and B, that he didn't give you the money. But you told us because you, again, wanted to build sympathy. You wanted us to believe that no one would help you, and this poor dear mother is in this situation, and all she needs is, $15 in drinks and a $20 gift card. If and people started to say, there's 151 of us in here. If everybody just gave a little, she would have it. That person was claimed to be new to her chat. But ma'am, if you knew the amount of money she has been able to grift off of this app, you would keep your mouth shut. And when he didn't offer help, I wrote, I wonder why. Because this is probably not the 100th time she's done this to him. He knows better than to fall into the trap. And then she says, now I have to worry. No, I'm sorry. Now I have to stress and worry about it. She said after she got all the other stuff, she doesn't have it. And this child deserves it. But I don't want to ask because I'll be judged. We tried everything possible to come up with the money. I'm a really bad mom because I didn't get the gift card for his birthday. What? The $50 gift card his grandmother came up for his birthday came up missing. I'm not surprised. I wonder if the boyfriend knows where it is. I'm just asking. Then she proceeds to call one of her sons a dork. Now, yes, she did it in a joking way. But again, why are you doing that on live? Mind you, you know you're being screen recorded because the other day when her minor son, who's her mod, saw that she was being recorded, she tried to go through the list of people in there to try to figure out who it was. And people who it wasn't were getting blocked. She unmodded most of her mods because she felt like it must be one of them. And that's not the first, second, or third time I heard her say incredibly rude things to her children. On live. Don't have to make it up. Now she's back to the Amazon wish list. And then she said, I'm stressed beyond stressed. And that's when somebody named Bethany Kentel, I think I wrote, suggested that people get together and send her a couple of dollars. And so what happened? She then posted, I think her Zelle and her PP. And Bethany sent money, of course. And then after sending the money, Cody says, "Oh, Bethany, let me follow you back." So that's all you need? You need a couple of dollars and now we're friends? Well, I told you the last time that we were here that the autistic man that she was taking money from, he was good until he stopped giving her money, and now he's a weirdo. Uh-oh, Nick Wright is live. So he got his account back. She got at least $180 yesterday. I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it at all. Because the way she begs, and this is the kicker, she doesn't stop when she gets what she's asking for. So why? Yep, he's back running his mouth. So I left to go look at somebody else, and then I came back. And now she is back to complaining about her sneakers. I told y'all on Friday that she went through like a sporting goods store or something like that. And she's walking through the sneaker section, showing the chat the sneakers she would like. And she wasn't like at Walmart. She was showing them Air Jordans, Nikes, and one was 119, and I think the lowest she showed maybe was 40 or maybe like $29.99. But ma'am, you're about to get your taxes, right? So why can't you buy sneakers then? But all of the kids got new sneakers, so now it's your turn, which is fair enough. But why does your chat need to know what kind of sneakers you like and the fact that your sneakers are falling apart? So I will concede you do not ask outright for what you want, but you dry beg to death. You dry beg to get everything you want plus some. And I'm going to keep calling you out while you do. If you are that bad, go get a job. All your kids are in school. Go get a part-time job. Go be a lunch lady at the school. Go do something. Get it together, Cody. Because it's ridiculous. Of course, CJ. You don't have to ask. Okay, Fallon. Good morning.
All right, I've seen at least 5 supporters from different beggars in this chat. I seen you walk in. I've been texted about a couple of yous. We know you're here. As long as you're respectful, you can stay. Maybe if you listen, you'll hear the pattern that the beggar that you support, the one Maggie Foster beggar supports, Now, Lori Jones is using that same line. If you listen, you will find out that they are all using the same line and taking it for your money. If you're respectful, you stay. If you're going to be disrespectful, you're gone. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Right, catch me. They're not, they're teaching their children, A, that the screen is more important than anything, and B, as long as you can sound sympathetic, you can get everything paid for. I wish I would have said to my mom, Mom, I want to go stand on the street corner with a sign and beg for money. My mama would have knocked my head through the washer in the wall. What you mean? You better get out there and get a job. Get me to listen. You sometimes have to window watch because I sometimes have a hard time shutting up. I really do. So I have to window watch not to get blocked. Okay, I want to do a bolo. I didn't put him in the circle, and I probably should have. This is Black Mamba. He's a bolo for now, but based on what I saw in the comments, I think he may fit the description. So I'm just gonna say scammy vibes, and I'll tell you why. Because he needed $34 for his hotel room. He was devastated because his mom passed away, and he said an anniversary. Now, when I think anniversary, I think annual. Now, if he had said my mom passed 2 months ago today, okay, I get it. But when you say anniversary, that usually implies a year. Well, someone else felt that way and said it, and they got muted and blocked. Sir, what you mean? You said anniversary, and it was 2 months ago. But let me just tell you how it's manipulation at its finest. Because the moment he got the money, the tears dried up. He didn't mention his mother again. So, because you got the money, you're no longer devastated about your mother who passed a couple of months ago? Scammy vibes. He claims he hasn't had a job for 2 weeks, but that he's going to school at community college. And someone was like, well, how are you paying for that? And he was like, community college is free. Now, I looked in several places. He's in Pennsylvania, by the way. I looked in several places, and like regular community college classes are not free. There may be some classes they provide that are free, but they're not credit generating. But okay. And then he went off on a nurse that he named Candy, who they had this back and forth going. Now, if he had gotten off live and talked to her, he might have been able to settle it. But no, he chose to stay on live, drag this woman after she's paid for his hotel room for a week. She sent him $400. And she asked to be made a mod because his comment section apparently on his backup page was deplorable. So she was asking to mod not because she gave him the money, but I think she was doing it to try to get rid of the trolls, the all of that. Well, then he says, I don't want a mod right now. Anybody who's being dragged but they don't want a mod tells me a lot. It means that you want people to see that people are talking bad about you. So again, they feel like you're getting bullied and they want to give money just to prove the bully wrong. And so, of course, Candy gets mad and she's like, oh, we were cool while I was giving you money. But now that I asked to be a mod, I'm doing something terrible? And he was like, I don't understand what people's things about being a mod are. I don't either. But this woman, he asked her for money. I think it was like $10 he asked her for. She sent him 20. And then he said the next time he asked, she didn't answer. And she's like, I got a real life. I'm about to have a baby. I'm a nurse. I got to go see my boyfriend who lives in a completely different state. Then it comes out that he actually was interested in Candy, so he was shocked to find out that A, she was pregnant, and B, she had a man. Now, just as an aside, he is a female to male transgender individual. I make no judgment. It's his life, his choice. Then, after, I apologize, I just misspoke. He did bring up his mother again, but he brought her up by saying she was a narcissist and she created his borderline personality disorder. But you was just bawling your eyes out a second ago about said mother. And now she was the worst thing to have ever happened to you. Oh, no, 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 no. So be on the lookout for him. It's Black Mama, or the @ is Ghost Boy Roy. Check him out. Okay. One of the favorites. Now, I've been blocked on everything, so I have to watch him after the fact on YouTube, which is fine. It actually makes it easier for me to take notes. But I'm going to say a couple of things. First, Ty, if you're going to spend time educating us by reading a book about chakras, stick to a book at your reading level. Because the only thing that you display is your subpar reading level. That's it. It was even hard to understand what you were talking about because you struggled so hard. Like, you couldn't read in a sentence structure that made it make sense to the audience. Now, I'm not teasing you. I'm just saying, spend more time reading. I love to read. Y'all know my goal is to read 12 books this year. Spend time reading. Understand the syntax, the context, so that when you're reading a sentence, it doesn't sound like a run-on sentence. I encourage you to continue reading. Instead of playing your video game at night, why don't you take an hour and read? Look up the words you don't know. In fact, if you type a word into Google, Google will actually pronounce it for you. Thank you for the heart, Mies. girl. And a couple of his mods, Trinity and Miranda, you're already on the list. So now, it's interesting that after we started to call out the fact that what he is doing is not content, it is just a beg on a daily basis. He's now going live in the evening so that we can watch him play his game. So now, instead of being a professional rapper, you want to be a professional gamer? Make it make sense, sir. And again, if you can do all of these things, why can't you get a job? Now, they came on. They came on the 9th and said that they only needed 3847. Yeah, I know. When he does that, nobody watches. Because, A, what game are you playing? And B, it's not exciting. You said you only needed 3847 when the night before you were outside saying that you needed money to get the room. So the fact that you woke up the next morning saying you only needed 3847 means that you collected more money than you needed the day before, sir. And you mean to tell me the people in his chat aren't smart enough to figure that out on their own? I got to talk about it in my life. Why wasn't anybody questioning how and why was he able to only need $38 for an $80 plus room? Y'all don't catch that? And I believe Cass said that he must be close to 10,000 accounts that have been blocked. I concur. Because suddenly one of my accounts was unblocked. I was like, okay, you must be at 10,000. Then he talked about, like, quote unquote, awareness. And I'm going to ask him to do this. Stop lumping all of us together. We are not all equal. We don't all do the same thing. I don't get on here and say every beggar does this, every scammer, meaning I don't say Bree, Kim, Sean, Nick, all do it the same. No. I actually pay attention to you individually and talk about what I see about you individually. Now, do you have similar characteristics? Yes. Am I able to use those characteristics to look at whether or not you fall under any of the three categories? Yes. But I don't treat you like one lump. You're all the same. No. Do you ask for that money for your hotel room and pay it? Yes. So does that make you a liar with regards to that? No. But where I will say I need proof is you saying that we got your Social Security taken away. I'm going to need to see the letter from Social Security saying that it was taken away and the reason why. Because you get Social Security taken away for two reasons. You are no longer disabled, and you now are getting enough money by other means that you are getting more than $900,000, whatever he gets a month, and they take it away dollar for dollar. And I'm sorry, here's the third. They find out that you're committing fraud. None of those three things is the result of any awareness person's behavior, reporting, etc. They have to prove that you've committed fraud to take it away for fraud. They have to be able to prove that your medical condition no longer qualifies you for SSI to take it away. They have to be able to prove, looking at all of your financial instruments, to determine if you are getting more money that way than you are from Social Security. But we can't call SSI and say he's committing fraud, and SSI say, thank you very much, and now we're taking it away. That's not how it works, Ty. Let me give you a little bit of an education. Now, can we call and say we think it's fraud and give them examples? Yeah. But SSI doesn't make the decision strictly from the phone call. They investigate. I doubt highly that he's lost it. But if he's going to come on here and say that we took it from him, show us the proof. You're always talking about how you're waiting for the truth. Well, here's some truth. Show us the proof that you lost it and the reason why. I'll wait the 1 month, 5 days, and 19 hours. Show us. You are accusing us as a collective to your audience that we've taken it away. Prove it. Because then you have an argument against Social Security. That if a phone call from somebody in awareness got it taken away based on their word, that's not right. I don't even think that's legal. So show us, Ty. Now, if you were fortunate enough to be in All for One's live the other night, Ty came in. Now, again, when I tell you that they're not as smart as we are, they always reveal themselves. Ty came on every single backup account he had. Sir, you doxed yourself. We now know, oh, thank you for that beautiful gift. We now know all of your backup accounts, sir. I already knew about Asphalt because that's his rapper name. But all of those other names he used, and Ty, it also revealed how childish you were because people couldn't even have a conversation with you. You kept repeating the same thing over and over again. You never answered a question. You said you didn't need to answer a question. So why did you come in the box? You said you're waiting for the truth. The truth is that you want $26,000 to stay in that hotel room from your supporters. That's the truth. And it's probably even more now because, quote unquote, tariffs have raised the price. The truth is that y'all don't have to be homeless. She could go home and so could you. You might not be able to go home together, but you'd have a warm, safe place to be. That's the truth. The truth is that even though you're on Social Security, you can work You just are limited in the amount of money you can earn before Social Security starts to take the money away, dollar for dollar. So if you make $1 over, they take $1 away. They don't say you made $1 over, we're taking it all away. And if you can write, rap, mix, master, and promote your music, you can get a job in the music industry. You can, in fact, work from home writing music. Now, I don't think anybody's going to buy it, but I digress. That's the truth. Your girlfriend dropped out of school, a school in which she would have had to provide a copy of an ID to prove that she was who she said she was, and she's a citizen of the United States. That's the truth. If you can beg for money for a hotel room, you can't beg to get your girlfriend a proper ID so she can get a job? So you're waiting for the truth? There you go. There's the truth. And I also invited you to come here today. CJ invited you to come on the 22nd at 8 p.m. Come on, Ty. You want to talk about truth? Let's go. And it'll only be you and I. So there's no need to go off on anybody else on any other tangent. That's truth. Tell me where the lie is. And for any of his supporters, do you think that you want to give up $10,000, which is less than half, for him to stay in a hotel room? Do you want to give $5,000? Do you want to give $1,000? He needs $26,000 at a minimum to stay there. So Ty, how long is this gonna go on? It's gonna stop. Hippie. Hippie, you in here? Hippie, why are you in here if you block me? Maybe she's not. He's raging in there saying he got his benefits taken. Exactly. You got an invitation to be here, Ty. I made it to you more than once. Yeah, I will. I'll keep bringing awareness on her. But it's hard to talk about her when all she does is log on. She mutes the live. She has a picture of her and the dog. She's laying in the bed not saying anything. And after about 15 minutes, she ends the live. His mod is in his box singing his praises. Well, I hope she has $26,000. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you are prepared to take care of a grown man and a grown woman. Okay? Oh. Well, as I told y'all before, Clapper wasn't working out, so she's come back to TikTok. Yeah, Kaylee. $26,000 is how much the hotel room would cost if he paid for it every day for a year. That's at a minimum. That's just straight $80 times 7 times 52. Sometimes it's 87 or $89 a night. So that was just a bare minimum. I just tried inviting him, and the Brooks, oh, and mods blocked me. I bet they did. He, because he can't really stand up to any intense scrutiny. And he knows that I don't do a bunch of yelling, hooping and hollering, insulting. I don't do any of that. Let's just have a conversation. But he is not prepared to tangle with me in any way, shape, or form. In terms of having an intellectual conversation, will he come in here and say, I'm still waiting, it's been a month and 5 days and 19 hours and 3 seconds, and I still hear no truth, I still hear no truth, I still hear no truth? We won't have that conversation, because to me that's unproductive. She is incredibly entitled. So the last time I talked about her, she had was standing at a bus stop asking for money to go to the church where they give out food to the homeless, and she was going to ask the pastor if he could give them money to get to the Northeast, that she had some sort of a mission or something that was going to give them resources. Because it's cold up there, they have more resources. That she hates Atlanta. Now, I don't think she's in Atlanta proper. Like, I don't think she's in, I think she's around Atlanta. But whatever. And a stranger who he was talking to ended up giving them the money. And she was like, ha ha ha, we got the money. We didn't even need you. Now, if y'all recall, a few weeks back, they were staying in the shelter. They couldn't stay together because they're not married. But he was in one part and she was in the other. And she went live. Ha ha ha, I'm in the shelter. We're here. We don't need you for anything. We don't need money. And the food here is excellent. And she talks to another lady in there. Isn't the food good? And I'm sure this woman was like, why is she asking me that? She was like, but yeah, the food here is good. And she was all popping her collar. She did her thing. And then they only let her stay for 3 days. I wonder why. Is that the limit, 3 days? Because I don't understand how you give somebody 3 days that are homeless if you have available beds. That doesn't make sense to me. But okay, you got 3 days. And then the shelter put you in a motel for 3 days. So you got almost a week out of the shelter. I am sure that if they didn't get banned because of bad behavior, that it's a short-term solution to try to help you connect with social workers, etc., to get you more permanent housing. But she was still popping her collar. She felt like the big bad wolf. And then the next time I see her, she's at the bus stop. And then the next time I see her, she's laying in a tent. Where's all the arrogance now, Windwalker? Oh, I'm sorry. They were back in the hospital with COVID in between all of that. What, where's all the bravado now, Kristen? Facts. She ain't popping that collar now. Now she's like, we're in a tent that can't even stand up. We got something in the middle to hold it up, and our blankets are wet, and blah, blah, blah. And someone was like, what do you need? And she was like, did we ask for anything? Girl, if you haven't, it's coming. Oh, wow, it's already 9:42. If you haven't, It's already coming. Yeah. It's so cold. You don't get to act big and bad like you got everything together and nobody could touch you and rah rah rah, and then in less than a week you are back to crying about your circumstances. Girl, pick a lane. Oh, and then of course the homeless people stole all of their identification, social security cards, etc. Where were they that they got stolen? You didn't think it was a good idea to take it with you? Correct. Don't come to the Northeast and expecting. Do you think that they're not already homeless people in the Northeast? Come on now. Right. I know. But now they have to start all over. My question is this: how does he still not have Social Security? How? By the way, digital. Everything is looking up for me in my door. Great! Great! I'm so happy for you, Brandy. I am so happy. And I'm glad you took our advice. That is what happens when you actually have a need. You talk to people, they offer you advice, you take it, and things start looking up. I am so happy for you. It is very backlogged, and the fact that they're firing employees indiscriminately is not going to make it better. Okay, Proud Mama, that's okay. Why hasn't she been on? She has been. But she's very angry about their circumstances. So she gets frustrated very quickly. She doesn't stay on like she used to because she doesn't get the help like she used to. She burned all of her bridges. First of all, he is not her husband, but yes, her and Travis are still together. Okay, let me see. I think that's everybody. Okay. Oh, I didn't talk about Kiki. Okay. So I just really want to say about her that she made a huge spectacle of getting baptized. Oh, I didn't talk about Kim either. Oh Lord, we're gonna be here for a little while longer. She made a huge spectacle of getting baptized at the church that put her into a room for I think over a month. And then her baby got sick. She claimed that it was the room that had mold, etc. Her and her baby daddy, the baby daddy of the youngest twins, are now together. She did this whole thing about she might be pregnant because he has another girl that might be pregnant, but she doesn't care. She's like, he can have 70 babies on me. I'm going to stick beside him. You have daughters. What are you showing them? It's one thing if you were already married and there was a baby and you were like, you know what, I made a vow for life. We'll get past this. But he left you with those kids to deal with on your own. And only showed up when it was a dire situation. But okay, Kiki. So yesterday she was on live and she again was making a spectacle that she was praising church. If you are praising God, what is being on live going to do? What is live going to do? And of course, people were saying things, and she was like, I don't care. They don't know how to praise the Lord, and blah, blah, blah. God doesn't need a spectacle, ma'am. He can see you regardless. But he also sees that you ain't been to that church since you got that money out of there. Twerking isn't praising God. That's a fact. But all you are doing is creating a situation where your daughters now see the screen as the most important. Why are you praising God with your daughters watching? Why are you saying you're going to stick by a man whether he has 70 kids on you or not? They are watching. They absorb much more of what they see versus what they hear. And then let's talk about Miss Kim. So Miss Kim had an eviction hearing on Wednesday. She got it postponed to this Wednesday. But that's not what upset me. You have a dog? You have a dog. As you are facing eviction, you added another pet to the mix. And does anybody know, does she still have the cats? Yeah, I know about the one bird. But does she still have... Oh, she has two birds now? She still has the cats. Ma'am. She's like, it gets me up in the morning. I get up at 7:30. I get dressed. I take them out, blah, blah, blah. And yes, for your mental health, a pet is a wonderful thing. And a dog makes you do things that a cat does not, because a cat is self-sufficient. But I've never heard her clean a litter box. I'm just saying. I clean my litter box before I go live. And sometimes I clean it after. Because white socks smells like a grown man when he goes to the bathroom. Or what he leaves in the litter box smells like a grown man. I don't want to live with that. Why do you just turn around and look at me like, why are you telling my business? Yes, I'm telling your business, sir. So you haven't paid your rent. You have been begging people to give you money for food, for all of your expenses, but you have money for a dog. And where did you get the dog from? Hopefully you got it from the pound, but you're about to be homeless. So, and where are you getting money for the dog food and for the vet care? And she said that whoever gave her the dog said that the dog was 1 year and 6 months. But the people she met on the street with the dog said the dog couldn't be any more than 7 months. Either way, it doesn't matter. How do you have money for all of these pets, and yet you need grocery money from people? I had heard she got a dog, and that's what that whole reveal thing was about. But then I heard her talk about it herself. And let's just say I was more than a little bit disappointed. Correct. You have to spend an incredible amount of money. Oh, I'm sure she's going to use it in some way, shape, or form. But we'll have an update on her eviction soon enough. She got it postponed by a week. So she'll be back this Wednesday. And for Jordan Paul, we are just waiting for the marshals, the sheriffs, whoever, where she lives, to show up and put her out. Three cats and a dog. I thought it was two cats and a dog, and then the bird. You know what? At this point, it don't even matter. It's too many. It's too many when you aren't sure where you're gonna live. And so I'm wondering if she got an agency to be willing to pay it so she could stay. Yeah, Chef Carl's money ran out so much he doesn't even get attention. He used to get 400 or 500 people in there every time he went live, and now lately, if I see his number get to 20, I'm like, oh, Chef Carl's on the way back. So I'm gonna end it here. It's almost 10 o'clock. I will give anybody, Fallon, go get another cup of coffee. Yeah, I need one. I did not make one this morning, and I need one badly. If anybody wants to come up for a couple of minutes, I'm only going to stay on until 10. You are free to come up. But if not, that's okay. We will have open mic on Friday, as usual. Didn't she say she got too much money on TikTok and her Medicaid benefits got cut? Her Social Security did get cut. Her Medicaid didn't get cut, I don't think. But her Social Security got cut, and the amount of her rent went up because of the amount of TikTok money she got. And that's why people like Ty and Sean, who also are on Social Security, should be in Pepper. Sorry. But you gotta love how nobody will come in here and have a conversation with me. Why? I'm gentle. I see it, Fallon. We'll talk about it. Oh, Topanga, you back at it again? Okay, Topanga.
Hey, so I wanted to fix my my fat fingering of the three cats. It is one bird, two cats, and a dog now. And so I'm just too busy trying to pay attention and type things at the same time. But is there a way to put up that last screenshot um, of Cody for the
Okay,
chat?
sure.
Or we need to do
Hold
it
on.
next time?
Nope, I can give me just 1 second. I'm gonna pause
Awesome.
the live.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, chat. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. You are appreciated for all you do. Thank you for sharing, reposting, and letting everybody know.
Let's see, did I get it?
No car, CJ.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, chat. This is Cody, where Dee Dee was talking about the major dry begging that this young lady does. But a lot of you hit the nail on the head with the enablers are the ones doing this and keeping these people here. And Dee Dee does a great job letting us know about the emotional manipulation going on with these scammers and beggars and dry beggars that come in here and pull on it. She does excellent with the definitions, shows it to you, lets you know where you can go and find it. Those are the key things that you need to use whenever you're reporting as well. If you can see the arrow here, Navy Life, her name is Tammy B. Barr. That is her @ She, sorry, everybody wants to call me now. She has been in Awareness Lives ever since I can remember. I've seen her often. And I want you to make a note of her name, and I want you guys to block her. But I want you to also let her know that if she wants to come and talk to me at any time, let me know when I will come to her. Just let me know the time and place, and we can talk about it. I will bring my screenshots, and I hope she brings hers. When you go into a chat and you are a flip-flopper enabler, that is what we're talking about. That is what these awareness creators are talking about, flip-flop enabling. You cannot sit up in here with you guys being as loyal as you are, messaging people, letting them know, please keep your money. Don't give these money. These people are manipulating you for your money, and then they don't care about you. And giving them the facts, tagging them in videos for research that people have already put out. But when you go in and get some awareness creators that I have seen personally where they are in their messaging, they are risking getting blocked by telling the truth. And look what Navy Life did. Block Jules. And I didn't do a very good job with that screenshot, but right by Cody's nose, it says Navy Life supports awareness creators. She's trying to get her out of there because the video that I'm going to drop after lunch is Navy Life, and they're saying, is $50 okay? What about the cake? Can I pay the electric bill? How much else do you need? Constantly. She was literally begging Cody to give her Cash App, tell her how much she needed for this. And Fred and Wilma actually went in and got these screenshots. Fred and Wilma made a video, and it's on their page, and I'm going to ask them to pin it so you guys can spin this video around. Share the hell out of it. I want Navy Life to be the topic of the day, to be honest with you. From what I understand, she is out there doing damage control because she knows last night I was going to talk to her. So as soon as she seen me in All for One chat last night, she left. And I caught her right as she was going out the door, so she's not going back in there. But she went around and made her rounds last night saying that she was such a good person and she has a big heart and she just wants to help people. I'm not knocking that. Have a big heart. Say a prayer. Send good vibes, good wishes. But when you turn around and you kick dirt in the people like that are in this chat, that are messaging people and being good and loyal and trying to do the right thing and help people not get taken advantage of, you just lied to me. And I don't like liars, cheaters, or scammers. We don't do this for money. We don't do this for clout. We are doing this out of our free time because we've got daytime jobs and families and kids to take care of. So you to do that, you just kick dirt in our faces, and I don't appreciate it. And I'm always going to stick up for you guys. Always.
She did pay the electric bill.
Jeez.
And this is why they continue, because they will eventually find somebody who will do it. And for what? She doesn't, if you stop paying her bills and stop enabling her, she won't care who you are. But because she has 26,000 followers, mind you, she has 26,000 followers, but I only see less than 100 people in her live every time.
Yeah.
So
And
what are you doing?
I'm not, I'm not too coordinated, so I didn't pay attention to the chat. If I missed any of your questions, I'm sorry. Just message me and I will get back to you. I just need you guys to know that I appreciate you for all you do, and for you to come on here faithfully, Dee Dee, and do your thing, and then even going to take time out of your day to come and do a primetime event, Digital After Dark. I'm so excited, and anything that we can do to make this better, please let us know so the burden is completely not on you. Anything you need, please let any of us know. We're here to support you always.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it a great deal.
So once again, guys, that name is Navy life. The @ is Tammy B Bar. And that video will be on Fred and Wilma's page. I'm going to ask them to pin it. And the creator that she's asking to get blocked is the faithful Jules, who messages everyone the truth. She tags, she messages, and she comments in our videos to let everyone know, hey, did you know? Just so we're on the same page and we're putting out the proper information. So I'm going to drop back down. Dee Dee, you have a great day. Chat, you have a fantastic week.
You too. I love Fallon. Because Fallon will come with the receipts every time. And I mean every time. When I tell you she has a way to pay attention and pinpoint in ways that I wish I could, impressive. Impressive. Well, that took us to 10 o'clock. So thank you. Thank you for everyone who came in and listened. If you like my content, please come back. I go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. And on the 22nd of this month, I'll be doing, as she said, a primetime event at 8 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully people who can't get to me during a regular week will able to get to see me. Let's keep the streets clean. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Everybody have a fantastic day. Hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. And I will either see you in the comments or Wednesday morning at 6:30 Eastern. Have a terrific day. Yeah. 3:30 Bailey time. Thank you, Bailey. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. Because that's super duper early. Thank you, CJ. Let all your friends know that we're doing it on the 22nd at 8 so people are prepared. Okay, goodbye, everyone.